Betting weekly live tennis. We are back. We're better than ever. We're all part of the Bet Rivers network. This is a great show. We got Dustin Fox, myself, Mitch Michaels. Reminded that we're in the Betting Weekly live tennis studio as well. A lot of great stuff. A lot of exciting stuff there on Bet Rivers. Make sure you download the app and get to it. We've got a lot to get to on this show. Dustin Fox podcast number 2. And a lot of great stuff too. I mean, it's not just the live window, but we're in all over Europe playing clay court tennis. It's time for the super fans and the diehards to really have a good time. But thanks for joining me on this show.
Yeah, good to be with you, man. It's our second podcast we've done, talking some betting on tennis, and boy, we got some good matches today. You know, looking at some of the early matches, and then we got some live matches going on right now. FAA taking on Navone, however you want to say it. It's a good match right now, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. How you been?
I've been good, man. This has been just a great time. Yeah, FAA and Navone. So remember, they're playing men in Barcelona and Munich. They got the women in Stuttgart, which is essentially Monte Carlo for them. You know, a one-week Masters event where it's just chaos and great matches from the get-go. And then Rune. But yeah, I've been good. It's a lot to keep up with. And yeah, we're starting bright and early, you know, for me at least. And yeah, 6 live matches now. So we've got a lot to choose from, a lot to discuss. But yeah, you mentioned it. Felix and Navone right now, third set. Felix is up a break 3-1, 15 love now as we look at this recording now. So right now, Felix is minus 625 on the money line. Navone is at a plus 360 number. Again, you can watch these matches on the Bet Rivers app as well. So there's just so much to get in on the action. Make sure you download the app. But yeah, Felix was in a tough one. I feel like Dustin, he always is in these pickles tight.
Yeah, no
go
doubt.
out early, but can also go on runs like we saw in Madrid last year.
No, he is, at least for me personally, when I've wagered on FAA, it's not really been a good result, to be honest with you. So, like, I don't have great faith watching him. I still think Navone could come back and win this. You know, it was break at the end of that, the second set. It was like crazy to see who could just hold their serve, and obviously Navone was able to close it out. But I still think that if he gets a hold here, 3-1, and we got it. Oh, good point. Okay, 30 love. So if he gets a hold here, I think that definitely a break is in play to get back to 3-all. And you know, you probably, I'm looking plus 390 right now on the match for Navone to come back and win.
Great comment already, and we're going to bounce the round and cover live. But Sirkin Kumova in the chat, can Altmaier win a set tomorrow against Zverev? Dustin, I think he absolutely can.
1000% can, but doesn't have to for the wager that I'm going to give you guys later on. Should I tease it, or how
you can tease it? Because I want to also say, like, when we get these great questions, we can go right to the Bet Rivers app and just say,
yeah,
you know, to win a set is plus 150. So hey, why not? I think, and great play there, cashing out on the over. I mean, clay overs. This is the season for it. 'Tis the season to hit overs when they're on clay. But yeah, I think starting with that match just to win a set. Altmaier's played well. Monte Carlo making that deep run, runs into Alcaraz. Everybody runs into Alcaraz, it seems. And then wins a tough one. We were on the show yesterday, had a tough time closing out saying, but the way Zverev's playing, Dustin, I think that's a very logical bet.
I mean, I bet on Muller yesterday, plus the games, and he got steamrolled the first set. Not steamrolled. It started out as to be a steamroll, came back, loses 6-4. And then it fell apart in the second set. But he played with Zverev. Like, to me, Zverev is not the same player that he was in Melbourne. You know, when he looked like he was in good form, and then all of a sudden has just completely fallen off. And obviously was it the first round exit to Griekspoor at Indian Wells? It was the first round.
Yeah, 6-6 this year, I believe, or maybe 6-6 since 6-6 since the Australian Open. And
it's not good for a guy who wants to be the number one player in the world.
There's a lot to break down with that. Is it the pressure of being number one? Is it too much scar tissue with you know, losing all these major finals and all these tough losses? Is it? And you can speak to this too as a former, you know, pro athlete yourself, Dustin. You start your season in poor form. Yeah. You're just trying to get back to the top, and it could be a hill that's too hard to overcome without a proper reset.
Yeah, and I think the pressure is certainly mounting with him. you can just see like the way he talks after these matches and these early exits in these tournaments. He's like, man, I'm not myself. Like he knows that he's got to be playing at a better, higher level consistently to get over that hump. I mean, to put him in the conversation with Alcaraz and Sinner right now it's just not fair to those guys, honestly, because Zverev is not even close.
Yeah, shout out Yannik Sinner. He's still going to be number one when he comes back. Played one tournament, still number one. As Mark Mint in the chat points out, too, bad day for the serve bot. So Pelko loses the Tsitsipas parrot card.
Over in that like a dumbass.
Medjedovic. But yeah, Opelka, I mean, that's a tough one, playing Tsitsipas on clay, especially Barcelona, where he's done well. But I mentioned the live window. This is a great one because in Barcelona right now, we got 2 matches going on. Cam Norrie taking on Karen Khachanov. Norrie wins the first set, but Khachanov just fights out there. And you knew this wasn't going to be easy. He's up 3-love in the second set, down a set. He's minus 210. So remember, like for betting novices out there, Dustin, Khachanov pre-match favorite. Norrie wins the first set, but Khachanov's still a 2-1 favorite. You can get Norrie at plus 135 up a set. So I think, they're expecting water to rise to its level. It's hard to disagree with that given Khachanov, but who knows, man? This is another tasty one.
No doubt. I mean, Cam Norrie is one of my favorite players that just I don't know why he doesn't seem to win like big matches, but he's got the talent and he can beat anybody on any given day. So we'll see what happens. I mean, remember the first show you did and you had the Medvedev Khachanov match going on, which was crazy to the very end. I was watching it with you guys and I had to turn you off because there was a slight delay.
Yeah.
And breaking. I'm like, I gotta get into this because I had some good coin on it. But no, that's going to be a fascinating one. Wawrinka's up a break in the second.
He is.
He win the set. I mean, if he wins a set, it could be interesting.
Fokina, Stan the man. Stan's trying to do
now
really rarefied air.
Fresh off the loss in the final to Monte Carlo.
Yes, well, semi to Alcaraz, but yeah, it's essentially the final. You was the Alcaraz. It's he's a tough clay court player. Stan's trying to join rarefied air. There's not too many people over 40 that have won matches on clay, like in general on the ATP tour. He's going to have the crowd with him, and we'll see. This is an empty the clip match for Stan because he's going to just we'll see if he wins. What would the next round be? But yeah, Fokina's a tough draw. That's a big one. In Munich, we mentioned the Felix match, which is 3-2. Felix is up just up a break now.
Just a break, yeah. I told you.
Just a break there. Zuzu Bergs and Bublik. We mentioned yesterday, this is your dealer's choice match. Like anything could happen in this one because we know what Bublik is and what he represents, but Bergs is another wild type of player with a great game. They are at love 30 on Bublik's serve, 5-all in the third set. So you can get Bergs at minus 360, or maybe if Bublik serves it out at plus 230, he can get the break the next match. So we're down to the wire in that one, Bublik Bergs.
Bublik is a very frustrating player to wager on because he's one of the most talented, if not like when he puts it together, like could be like the most talented player, very similar to Kyrgios. But these guys are crazy. They do stupid stuff like underarm serves on match point, break points. Like, I don't get it, man. It's like just get yourself together mentally and you could just take it to the next level. They just don't seem to get it. Well,
yeah, and if you follow along, as of course you should, on the Because We Win socials or watch the shows here on Bet Rivers, you'll see just the boys have been on a heater. Nigel Seeley, Sean Calvert, what they did at Monte Carlo, I think 10-0 in their Monaco picks, getting Musetti to the final there where they had a great hedge opportunity. And those boys today were on Yannik Hanfmann and Betting Weekly game bet match, which is going to drop later today with Nigel Seeley and Sean Calvert. Hanfmann at plus 1.5 sets and 3-1. Man, just Mensik's first match back. I think it was a smart bet for a lot of reasons. Hanfmann's a player, but even with the week off, Dustin, Mensik winning the title of his life and then switching surfaces, it's a lot to adjust for anyone, let alone.
I don't know if you saw that match, but first set went to a breaker, and I mean, literally just 1 point changed the entire match because obviously Mensik comes back and cruises to win the second set. But then the pressure's on in the third set. But if he wins that first breaker, probably wins the second set and just wins the match in straight sets. Instead, Hanfmann goes on to win the match in 3 sets. It was a great match. I watched most of it, actually.
Man, there's just, it's not a bad loss. He'll reset. It'll be good for Mensik. But yeah, another young player, struggling the week after. We saw that in Barcelona. We're going to get to the women in a second, but I just want to mention we're on the heels of Alcaraz, Ethan Quinn. Shout out to Ethan Quinn, man, because goes through qualifying, the Georgia national champion back, a few years ago, goes pro after his essentially his first college season. Had been grinding like you do on the pro tour, and gave Alcaraz a match, man. That tiebreak, especially in the second set, was outstanding. Couldn't get it done, but hang your head tall, young man, because that was impressive.
He had a set point, 6-5, and then loses the next 2 points on serve to lose 8-6, unfortunately for him. But I was impressed.
Did you notice that? Did you notice that Alcaraz is just like laughing out there? Like he's so relaxed in big moments. Like
he was so chill. Even the announcers were talking about it. It's like he's just smiling. I mean, like he's on basically his home turf, right? I mean, it's Barcelona. They love him there. He was just like, you could tell he knew he wasn't, there's no chance in the world he was going to lose that match. Even if he lost the breaker, he's not losing the match. But yeah, it was fun to see. And it is fun to see Carlos back to smiling and being happy again on the court, because it seemed like for a while when you watched him play, there was just like this weight on his shoulders that comes from being a top player and all that comes along with it, and now he's had a nice run. I think he's 11-1 so far on this clay court season. So he's off to a hot start.
And I absolutely agree with that comment from Sirkin there, that I think that Botic has a chance against Ben Shelton tomorrow, because Ben Shelton
for sure
almost lost to Goja.
Goja almost got him.
And I don't think Botic is going to self-destruct, all due respect, get a little tight, I should say, on all those match points. So if Shelton brings the level that he brought, and we'll pull up the numbers right now on the Bet Rivers app, but if Shelton brings the level minus plus 120, solid, not too big of an underdog, but Shelton needs to be playing better, because that level he brought, he admitted it was not high enough quality for this tour level.
I feel like he always serves well, except for like one game a set. And it tends to be like a pressure game, and he falls behind love 30 or just does something stupid. It just gets him behind. It's like, man, what are you thinking? Trust me, I get it. And these guys are playing at a much higher level than I am, so it's a tough mental sport, and these guys go through it all the time. But I thought he showed resiliency yesterday in that match versus Goja, because to avoid how many, 4 match points?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. And on one of them, he did a really smart play, just at the net, just put some pace on it, ask the question. It's Paul Anakin always says that on TC, ask the question, right? Don't have to go for a winner, make them answer it. Like, can you put away this volley? And he couldn't do it. So
ask the question. I like that.
Ask it. Yeah.
I would say make him hit another ball, but ask the question's good. Yeah.
The women's side of things, we got a couple live matches. So Stuttgart's got their last match of the day, or not the last match. There's one match after it, but all German affair, Niemeyer and Siegmann going to 3. You can get Niemeyer at minus 108 and Siegmann at minus 132. Laura Siegmann, former champion here. Hard to believe, right? That she, went on that run back in the day, or former finalist, I should say, but she's done very well in this event. And that's an interesting one, I would say. But the Rune match right now, and that's one I wanted to focus on, because Bouzas Marino over Sakkari, she's at minus 835, up 4-2, 30-love in that third set. We hinted at it yesterday, Dustin. Sakkari has been very, very, very cold at times, and Bouzas Marino grew up on the clay, so not a bad one there.
You think Sakkari can come back? Now it's 40-love, up a break.
That wouldn't be so. They had a question in the chat from Udit Jane there. Like, do we have any live plays we like? Is there anything that you like? I mean, look at Berg's got the break on Bublik, so that kind of might close the door there. Bublik at plus 900. I don't know, what's the live play that we would look at right now. I think
Sakkari's 750, dude.
My live play that I like would be Khachanov at plus money right now, plus 170 if he can get through. I think that's the one if you're going to target one of the live plays right now. He's down love 15 in that game, but I do think, I think he'd be the one that I would look at. Khachanov fighting through Norrie there, but we'll see. Anything else you like, Dustin?
I'm not touching Sakkari, dude. I'm not. There's no chance. Now it's 850. It's 2-5. It's only a break, but women's tennis, man, I don't even trust her to hold this serve right now. Especially since she got bageled the first set.
We had one that we were going to discuss too. Sabalenka has got a free pass to the quarterfinals. Potapova beats Claire Tauson yesterday in an epic match at the end of the day, and then pulls out the next day with an injury. So we have what we essentially have is Sabalenka not playing till about Thursday. quarterfinal match. And we were discussing this, right? Like a lot of players would be like, okay, money, ranking points, quarterfinal, free trip, good work if you can get it. She's pretty set in all those areas I just mentioned. I think this might be a bad thing. I think she'd rather play to get that clay match and be ready for the stiff competition you'll face quarterfinal round and on.
Yeah, good point. By the way, Navone just holds, so we are at 4-3 with FAA serving. So the reason I'm watching this one so closely, I did take Navone plus 390 to come back to win this match.
There's your live play.
There's your live.
I
play.
like it.
Yeah, I just did it before the last service game, but so we'll see.
Great comment in the chat though too, because as Edith says here, cash out. You know, hey, you made your money. You're not sure where this is going. It's very honorable to do. There's no shame in getting the profit and getting out. If you're watching it, especially as you can watch here on the Bet Rivers app and on the network here, you see what's happening and you can be like, okay, I think this match might be turning against me. Let me just take the profit now and get out.
I caught a nice one earlier today with Bodnar coming back to win the. She was down a break in the second set and comes back to win in that second set. It took her like I think it was plus 400. And it's break, hold, break, man. And that's women's tennis, dude. The serve is not guaranteed. And it's why that sport is so volatile to bet on and so tough to understand. Like, man, women, they fall behind, love 30. It's like, dude, it's almost impossible to hold that serve.
You see it in clay, though, on the men. Like, this is the one time of year where Tiafoe, great example, right? Cruising along and then just wheels fall off. He is such a rhythm server when he's on, but on clay, it's not quite the same. And Munar's tough. And it's a tough battle playing against these guys and girls that grew up on the surface and know not just shots to hit, but movement and little bounces that you're going to get. And I was watching Fees play against Alcaraz in that epic Monte Carlo match, and his sliding is just like he can just slide from like 7 feet out and get to where he needs to be. But
I never played on the actual like red clay that's like super slippery and you can slide like crazy. I play on the green clay, which is hard true, not quite the red clay. You can slide. I mean, it's what they play on in Charleston. You know what I mean? But it's not like this. So I'm dying. Maybe one of these days I can get on it.
Don't try at home. It's not safe to try those Iga Swiatek like sliding front foot backhand shots she hits just after.
No, I'm good, man.
You'll pull some muscles. It will not end well. So you'll need a proper medical timeout. Tomorrow, I want to get to that. We'll come back to the live window, but Dustin Fox here on Betting Weekly Tennis Live, Bet Rivers Network. Make sure you follow our channels on social media because we win. Download the app. But Dustin, tomorrow, and we'll get to the daily double in a second. But some interesting matchups, and I want to start with the one you were teasing, Zverev Altmaier. Where do you think we're headed on that one, and what's a betting angle you like on that one?
My angle is I'm taking the games plus Altmaier plus 4.5 games. I like that. I think even if he loses in straight sets, I mean, if he can get it 6-4, 6-4, you win. And I think there's a good chance that he can hold him off. And honestly, Altmaier could win this match. I don't have the stones to throw down the coins on the money line. Maybe a couple shekels, but nothing crazy. But I do like him to cover the game line. And who was it earlier in the chat that said he liked him to win a set at plus 150? I can get behind that.
I think it's great. Yeah, I think either of those angles, because what you're essentially expecting is what you're both saying is that it's not going to be one-way traffic. That was Sirkin Kumava with that nice angle there. You're not expecting it to be one-way traffic, and neither am I, because Zverev hasn't proven that that's there. Munich tomorrow, the Ben Shelton and Botic match, that spread is just 1.5 games, minus 107. Clay is over season, as we know, over 22.5 games, and Ben Shelton taking on Botic is minus 120, over 22.5. We'll see what that works. And also, we did the show yesterday with Tim Dennis. I just want to mention this because I hadn't really thought about this from a betting angle. He cashed out on Tsitsipas under 12.5 games, but he was expecting what happened, a straight set win with no tie breaks. So it's an interesting way to bet that, right? Like you play a serve bot in Riley's case, and he's like, no tie breaks, straight sets. Got it.
Well, and you probably got really good odds on that, right? Plus money.
It was, I think so.
Plus 150 or something.
Munar was 350 live when Tiafoe won that first set and up a break. Yeah. Just 350. Yeah, well, maybe they've seen Tiafoe. I think was the same situation last week against Popren where he was up early and he definitely won the first set. I don't know if it was a break, but other match in Munich before we move on to some other ones. You got Griekspoor, Yannik, Hanfmann. So
break
Hanfmann
points coming for Navone. Break points coming for Navone.
I actually think Griekspoor could cover that 3.5 game spread. He's a gritty competitor that can play all surfaces, and you can get him at -105, -3.5 games. I kind of like that.
I've become a Griekspoor fan, man. I saw some stuff on him. Was it on the Netflix show where he was talking, or was it somewhere else? He was talking about how, like, you know, he's a top player, but he's not like a top player enough where he gets tons of money and tons of endorsements. Yeah, he broke back.
And now we're at -130 ish, -134 as of right now for Felix, -106 Navone. I said over yesterday. It sounds like a cop out, but I'm telling you, clay court matches, you're going to see the breakbacks late. You're going to see the games go up. I think it's a smart approach. Wow.
There's just not a lot of points one like on the serve.
Yeah.
Not a lot of aces and not a lot of balls that don't come back in play. And so that's why it's like I feel like when you got two good players, man, and once the point starts, it's kind of a 50-50 battle.
So I got some matches for you in Barcelona tomorrow that I'm curious about. One in particular.
Okay. What you got?
So the most curious one I have is Holger Rune taking on Sebastian Baez. We got -122 for Holger, -103 for Baez. So Baez, who just cleans up on the golden swing, goes to Latin America and just wins clay titles. And Holger's just, we're waiting, right? We keep waiting. Is he going to break through? Is he going to just crush players ranked less than him? That's a fascinating line. I'm wondering, Dustin, if you have an angle on this match.
My angle is, dude, vamos. Vamos, vamos, vamos. That's, of course, in relation to my story with Baez playing. If you can go back and just Google my story with Medvedev Baez from the U.S. Open. It was a funny story, but yeah, Baez he's just a good player, man. Like I love him on clay. I love him because he's just a little, firecracker, man. He's out there. He just gets to everything, especially on clay. I mean, he's just so good. So Holger Rune, man, is one of the most talented players that I don't like to bet on because I just don't know. I don't know what's going on upstairs.
Don't blame you there. I just, man, he has the eyeball test. This could be a tough one though. Maybe games. Yeah, maybe this is a tight one, or maybe Holger can throw away the set. I could see Baez is getting a game and a half for -129, and he beat Holger in Rome last year, as Jean scored 47 points out there. I think taking the game spread, because even if Holger finds a way to win this match, I think he's probably going to have a clunker of a set there. So you just kind of hedge yourself that way. Casper Ruud's match against Medjedovic is going to be a fun one. And then Tsitsipas Korda. Can the American make a play and get a big win over Tsitsipas? Can Korda finally kind of elevate himself? We'll see.
What do you think? I've been waiting for Korda to make that move.
I think we're going to keep on waiting in this one. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think he beats Tsitsipas here. I don't know. I feel like he's at a point where something would have to change. I don't know. I like Tsitsipas here. I can't keep picking Korda and then being let down. I've got some scar tissue like Zverev does in major finals.
Anything else on the women's side tomorrow in Stuttgart or?
I am glad you asked that.
Yeah,
I'm glad you asked that, because we're going to look at that and then get to your daily double. But we have the Andreeva Sister Act. The two sisters are playing.
They haven't played for like what, a couple of years? 22, I think was the last time they played.
Erica has the win over Mira, but Mira has elevated herself and is a -770 betting favorite. So that's probably going to be straightforward. But the match that we're looking at, Mertens and Shnaider is exactly even on Bet Rivers, -112 each. Diana Shnaider, similar to Holger in a lot of ways. I actually think she does step up, and Mertens is like the gatekeeper. Like if you're a fighting fan, like she's the fighter that fights all the contenders. Like, can you beat this person and prove you're worthy of a title shot? I think Shnaider though is going to win here. I know she battled yesterday. I like her to win this, and I love that number, -112.
I've liked her for the last really season and a half. I think she's got a good game. Mertens, I think, is a better hardcourt player. She's got a big serve. I can get behind. Like Schneider's, I think she moves well and is crafty, and that's what clay courts. They tend to allow players like that to have more success. So I'll go with you on that. I agree.
Well, we got one more match from there later today. So if you're looking to get your fix on, Stuttgart has another match. It's going to be Emma Navarro taking on Beatrice Head-Ed-Maya. Head-Ed-Maya has not had a great season. Been very, very tough for her. But Emma Navarro minus 385, Dustin. And I love Emma Navarro. Yeah,
Too
right?
high.
Like it seems that way.
Too high. I mean, I thought the same thing yesterday when Kessler was favored by like minus 225, 250, something like that against Faro, and I was like, and I kind of got a little juice on the underdog there, and I think the same thing here. I don't know if you take the plus games, if you think it's going to be a straight sets, or do you think that Haddad-Maya can compete because also, she was number 10 in the world last year.
I know. She just hasn't. Yeah, it's a rhythm sport. It's tough. I think she can compete, though. I really do. Maybe it's a game spread. If her serves buzzing, she'd put on clay, Iga, semifinal, Roland Garros, lost in straights, but played a really tight second set tiebreak against her. So the game's in there. Can she unlock it? There is also Eva Lys taking on Jasmine Paolini. I forgot to mention. Paolini is a minus 315 favorite against Lys, who became a household name a bit during the I love that comparison, by the way. Mertens is like Khachanov on the women's side. Shout out there to John's 447.
That's a good one.
But yeah, can Lys back it up against Paolini? Paolini is she just continues to overachieve. It sounds like a backhanded compliment, but what she does and how she elevated herself has been nothing short of incredible.
It kind of is a backhanded compliment, but in the end, it's still a compliment. Because she does things that she probably shouldn't be able to do for her size.
She's 5'3". Yeah, it's 5'3", 5'4". Like I might be, rounding up.
If you're not 5'7", 5'8" in tennis, women's tennis, like it's hard to become a top player and be consistently good on every surface. And she at 5'3" is Mighty Mouse. She really is.
That photo of her and Sabalenka at the net in Miami looked like mother-daughter day at the tennis stadium. And as Nigel, our guy, saying in the chat too, he's not betting on Navarro after her performance against Raducanu in Miami in the Emma Bowl, and that was a tough one. Yeah, I don't like the juiced up odds on her, so that's what my advice would be looking into that one. But Dustin, as we wrap up this show, we got to get the daily double in. We've been talking about it. We got to pick, and we're going to try to do this every week. A nice little daily double to play some plus odds to your favorites on the board. And you mentioned one of them, but what's the official daily double for you today?
So it's for tomorrow. Tomorrow's matches, of course. And I took the plus 4.5 games with Altmaier against Sasha Zverev, and then we go to where are we going to? We're going to the WTA tomorrow. Right. So we're going to Rowan. And we are going to take my girl Noskova. Noskova. She's laying 3.5 games at minus 140, minus 135 ish. So roughly that parlay, the daily double is going to be about plus 220, 225 with both those little two team parlay. That's what I like tomorrow, man.
I like it, and I like the sense. It's tough because I'm a Bernardo Pera fan. Yeah, Khachanov is about to, and he just won the second set. So now you're looking at Khachanov minus 305. Yeah, I'll take the compliments on that one. But he was serving down, maybe love 30, maybe just love 15, but good plus money point, holds, breaks, holds, and the Karen Khachanov show rolls along going into the third set at minus 286 on BetRivers. So watch it there and download the app. But Dustin, your point on Noskova, really like that because Pera just had, I'll say this is the non-betting side, but the emotional high, represented her country, Billie Jean King Cup, won a big emotional match this past weekend. A little different to kind of change gears. And Noskova's tough. Beat Iga at Australia and is another young player worth betting on. I agree.
She got on a nice little run at the start of the hardcourt season, and I was like, I didn't really know a lot about her. I just watched her game. I just really liked it and kind of studied up a little bit more. I mean, she's only 20 years old, man. She's got a chance to make a name for herself here. I mean, at 20 to be beating the number one player in the world and be beating these top players consistently, I think it's impressive. And I think she starts off with a nice win tomorrow.
So we got Stan just about out. Fokina got
a match point done. There. Yeah.
Felix and Navone are in a dogfight.
This could be a good win for your boy right here if Navone could just close it out on the return of serve here.
And this is live betting at its finest, right?
Oh, yeah.
Felix served first, or Felix served second rather. So if you like Felix, you can get plus money when he's down in these situations. But wow, Deuce, now you're probably ahead of me, but I just spoiling that a little bit. But yeah, there's some good opportunities there. Well, I guess final thoughts as we go ahead. Is there anybody in these tournaments that you're thinking, just big picture, Dustin, for our fans out there, people watching or listening, some of the higher seeded players that you got your eye on that maybe you think can make a run and go all the way? Anybody in particular?
I mean, at this point, how can you bet against Carlos? I just think it's, I have a couple times in this little bit of a run he's having here, and it's just not a good proposition. So I would be stunned if he doesn't win this tournament. I mean, his home country, like, why not? Fresh off the Monte Carlo win.
Well,
I think he looks great.
I also think looking at it, Barcelona is stacked. There's so many players, but if I have my eyes on Munich and we say Zverev's the #1 seed, but not in great form, could Griekspoor get it done? Griekspoor is somebody I'm looking at. It would be a quarterfinal matchup if he wins against Zverev. Hugo Humbert on the clay is good, but not as good as he is certainly indoor hard court or hard court in general. So Griekspoor to get to the final is one, and I think that's one I would be backing. Got Shelton and Cerundolo or the heavy hitters on the bottom of the bracket with Felix. The Navone Felix winner, oddly enough, I know someone was asking about it in the chat, Dustin. They get David Goffin next. So he's no stranger to big matches.
He's a tricky dude too for an old head.
But that'd be the one I would old head.
What about what about Demon, man? Off the loss in the semis of Monte Carlo, he said on TC, man, he said he's playing to win money for his wedding. Talk about motivation, man. Just saying.
Yeah, I know those bills stack up.
We have one final Fernley on Thursday. Excuse me.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't. Demon's tough. The guy's playing and running.
He shouldn't have lost to Musetti, man. He shouldn't have lost.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That was a real tough one. And then what was there's a few. There was one more I wanted to get to. Yeah, I think on the women's side too. I mean, if it's not going to be Iga, who's won here before, Sabalenka, curious to see. Stuttgart has always been just like a powerhouse of a tournament. So I don't know. Coco Gauff's going to be playing a tough match tomorrow. There's going to be lines that fill up throughout the day. So just make sure that you keep monitoring the Bet Rivers app to see when all these matches finish. And then tonight or early morning, if you're watching or listening and you're up, just see where we are in terms of what the odds are, who the matchups are, and what to expect. But yeah, I think there's going to be a big opportunity for some of these players to go on deep runs here. Jessie Pegula is another one. She just makes finals. So maybe that's someone to watch if the top players aren't there. So any thoughts on this match, though? Khachanov, Darderi, before we wrap it up?
I mean, I'm a Khachy fan. We talked about him last week when we were watching a live match doing this podcast. And that was the match against Tiafoe. I love Khachy, man. I think that he's always got a chance, and he's got an extreme fight where he just never really gets rattled. I don't know a ton about Darderi, honestly. I know this morning, didn't he have a there was a walkover this morning, wasn't there? With Lehechka?
There was a few. I was keeping up. We had Shapovalov retired. We had Yastremska retired. Yeah, there was a few walkovers too, but Darderi isn't that Kek's tough. I don't know. I like Darderi, but I don't know that he pulls the upset against Khachanov, who just is rounding into form. We'll see. But man, this is fun. Any final thoughts, Dustin? This was another good tennis show. We got
it was a great show, man. Keep the Bet Rivers app on your phone, and remember all these matches. You can watch them live, like while you're betting, like what we're doing right now. You can watch it right on the app. So it's pretty cool.
We'll see if Navone wins you, a nice little payday
bucks,
there.
Man. Yeah,
couple bucks
there.
Remember,
if Navone wins, maybe I'll buy you a tennis TV. How about that?
Only if he wins, though. So now I'm a Navone fan. I got to denounce Felix for the next 20 minutes. But thanks to everybody out there who watched or listening. Betting Weekly Live Tennis on the Bet Rivers Network. Download the app. Follow the socials at Because We Win. And also check out Betting Weekly Game Bet Match with Nigel and Sean Calvert later on this week. It's dropping later today, actually, so that's going to be good. But hope you enjoyed the show. We definitely enjoy talking tennis. For Dustin Fox, I'm Mitch Michaels. This was Betting Weekly Live Tennis, 1 o'clock Eastern Time every Monday through Wednesday. We'll talk to you soon. Enjoy the games and enjoy the app, and we'll talk to you soon.